Well, Scott, I guess the fact that it was a four-quarter performance is probably the most pleasing aspect, fair to say?
Yeah, it was pleasing. But at the start, we come out obviously quite aggressive at the start, quite solid in the contest, and certainly moved the ball well. So it was good to capitalise early, and the boys come in at each break, and they were keen to keep doing the same thing quarter after quarter. And when we got to three-quarter time, they certainly wanted to make sure they won the last quarter as well.
I guess there was awareness that the Eagles, given they had play, they could have come out and done some damage, so you blunted that pretty quickly, didn't you?
Yeah, no, they've been in some really good form, and the Oppo review, looking at them, or the preview, looking at their last month of football was very positive. So we made sure the boys were aware of certainly what they're capable of, how they've been playing, and we were very happy with the way we played, but I'd suggest that probably West Coast were a little bit disappointed with their performance on the weekend.
How did Foggy boil? I know obviously he got the game and it was nice and early, but post, when everything cools down, he's all good?
Yeah, at this stage, yeah. Look, I haven't seen him this morning, but it was. You always get a little bit worried when someone goes off early, but I thought Fogg's performance was outstanding. He's made inroads throughout the year and competed really well, contested well, but when he gets that ball in hand, if he's not kicking the goals, he's always passing off or assisting to a teammate. He puts them in better position to have a shot on goal. So, he's been in good form for us.
What pleased you most about yesterday?
I think what we said earlier, just the four-quarter performance. It's a team that's on the improved West Coast. We didn't give them a sniff early, and we kept foot on throat the whole game. That's the most pleasing thing. Saligo,
was he always going to be managed that early? Was he absolutely managed?
No, not necessarily. Yeah, it's a management thing. It's the game, what's happening in the game. We certainly had a good midfielder on the bench in Sammy Berry, who came on and played really strong football for the last half as well. But we're mindful of Solly. He's not 6'3" and 100 kilos as well, and it's his first year in the midfield. And we've got a couple of short day breaks coming up as well. So we're certainly managing him to make sure he continues his good form throughout the year.
Did it have a little bit to do as well, the fact that he had that ankle at the start of the year? Pre-season was slightly limited. It's about just managing his minutes just for a little while in the middle patch here?
No, we wouldn't have taken into account the pre-season. It's just where we're at now. You get to this part of the year when you're 9 to 10 games in, there's always players playing with something. They're a little bit sore, so we certainly focused on him, and we had the sub was like I said, Sammy Berry, a midfielder, so it was an easy one to do on the weekend.
Is that something we could see with potentially some of the other midfielders throughout the next few weeks, or because you've got the bye coming up, not necessarily?
Oh, look, every game we play, we're going in to win. It depends what's happening in the situation. Like sometimes you don't get a choice. There's injuries early, or someone's just a little bit below par, or we need a spark somewhere, so we make that call. But yeah, look, there is, I think there's a 5-day break coming up after Hawthorn, so we're sort of mindful of what does lay ahead. But we're at the same time too, we've got the Hawks this week who have been in very good form, and I think over the last 6 weeks or so, they're probably sitting on 4th or 5th on the ladder in those last 6 rounds. So it's going to be a tough game over in Melbourne at the G. So we're looking forward to getting out there and giving a good account of ourselves again.
Just on that, what do you make of the Hawks past probably 5 weeks? They've really turned the season around.
Yeah, really impressive. Watched them live last week against Port, and I think anybody there, that first 3 quarters, just their contest and certainly the way they're using the ball too. They're making it hard for teams to defend, shifting the ball well, going at the game aggressively, but underlying all of that is their contest in and around the ball, and you've got Warple and Newcomb and those fellas that are certainly leading the example for them. So it's another challenge certainly for our mids on the weekend to compete aggressively inside and hopefully get some field position for us early.
Did you notice Harley Reid was getting booed yesterday?
No, I didn't notice that.
Your thoughts on a situation like that? Obviously, Jason or France and some of these guns that come through, getting booed by the opposition. Is that what happens in a game, or is it?
The only thing I can think of in the game is when he took the advantage and played on, and we tackled, and we didn't get the free kick for holding the ball. I thought the crowd might have been a bit more disappointed with that, more than Harley Reid. I didn't pick that up, but I'd hope not. But he's going to be a star, isn't he? I would think anybody who walked out of that ground yesterday still and saw the couple of things he did, we're sort of looking forward to seeing what he can do in 3 or 4 years' time.
Speaking of Reid and disappointment, do you think Joshua Shelley was slightly flat? He got don't argued by him. He tried his best to lay the tackle.
Yeah, I haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure that Yeah, there'd be a few boys that when you've got a player like that, whether it's Dusty or whether it's Reed, that are so good with the don't argues, it's you sort of want to set yourself to hold those tackles when you get the opportunity. So, yeah, when they get you, you know what's coming sometimes, but sometimes the players are too good and you can't stop them. But yeah, you might be a bit of ribbing from teammates.
I was going to say, do you think you might have a few light-hearted jabs coming his way this week?
There might be one or two. Yes.
In terms of his game, without Rankin and getting a few more opportunities up in the midfield, did you get what you wanted out of him, I guess?
Yeah, no, it was pleasing. Rush, he got in the midfield, got some centre bounce time, which was good. Still managed to get back down forward and kick a few goals as well. But I thought collectively that the smaller forwards all really stepped up. I thought Murphy played an excellent game. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Braden Cook was outstanding as well. Keezy's been probably our most consistent small forward over the course of the year, like permanent small forward. So, yeah, it was really pleasing. I guess all of those boys stood up and did a little bit on the weekend.
Rankin looks like he's back running already. Hopefully you get him back pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully. But they certainly won't take any risks. It's going to be that borderline one where he'll probably be available or close to being available the week before the bye, and it's whether you take that risk or not.
And another one, Nick Murray looks like he's pretty close to going back to the Sandful, so a big recovery return for him.
Yeah, Nick's been flying. If you ask him, he wanted to play a month ago, but we've certainly taken a little bit conservative with him. He's been terrific in his rehab. He's got to a level quicker than what we thought, but we've made sure we've got a fair bit more base into him in terms of training. But hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks or soon he gets an opportunity at SANFL level.
And Pedlo's got some sample minutes at the weekend. Would he be available for selection seniors this week?
Yeah, he's available, but he's still obviously coming back from that shoulder too. So we really just want to see how he goes over the next week or two to make sure he's cherry ripe when he comes into the AFL again.
Speaking of comebacks, Schomburg in particular when he kicked that goal, looked like a nice moment and a successful return.
Yeah, look, he's pretty popular, Shonny, with his teammates, and once again, the work he's done that no one sees, publicly. He's done the Achilles last round last year, and sometimes that can be nearly 12 months. The work that he put in from round 23 last year to Christmas was outstanding. Put himself in a good position. He came along quicker than what we thought too. We went back to the SANFL. We thought he would take a little bit of time, but within 2 weeks, he was probably our standout performer at SANFL level. So we didn't want to rush him. We gave him that 1 or 2 more games there. So he really had a good month of football under his belt. And we're really pleased how he covered ground and how he used the ball. And he's certainly a quality young player for us now. He's played a few games. He's got a bit of an experience, and hopefully he can touch wood. There's no more hassles this year, and he can take another step.
Ladder's probably not representative of football. You've been playing, all the Hawks have been playing, you're right there together. What is it about their month, you think, so far? Is it their contest work? What's brought them back into the game?
Yeah, I certainly think their contest. They're a very, very good contested possession team. They're aggressive with ball in hand, but they're quite smart with it as well. They don't rush all the time with ball in hand. They will be composed. But collectively as a team, their defending is 1-2. So they've got high forwards who get up aggressively. They've got defenders who will be assertive and press the game when needed. I think they've been hard to score against too over the last 4 to 5 weeks. So it's a challenge for us. We're going to the G. I'm not sure how many games they've played at the G this year. They're generally Marble or down in Tassie. So it'll be an interesting game.
And just though, that's funny, heading into the bye, it's Hawks, Tigers, Swans, a couple of short breaks. As you mentioned, I know you've got that one game at a time mentality, but when you look at it as a block, how crucial is this? Because if you're not performing, it leaves you a long way back. So how do you look at it as a coaching group these next 3 games and getting the best out of your team?
Yeah, well, I think there's 2 different areas. There's a coach, and we play to win every week we go into, so you can't look too far ahead. I know that sounds boring at times and cliche-ish, but there's certainly, from a high performance point of view, we've got to make sure our players are physically ready to play at 100% every game. So there's modified training, there's modified game time that we saw with Sligo on the weekend, knowing that we have to win this game. We want to win this game against Hawthorn on the weekend, but we've still got a 5-day break afterwards going into Richmond. So that's just part of AFL now, part of managing it. But our whole focus from today going into the Hawthorn game is solely on them and nothing else.